What Nerdigans, this is the one and only Packer Girl 89, and no, it's been a while since, and it's kind of late for me to do this one, but I've been dying to make this manga Nerdigan video for a really long time, and I did a lot of research on this, and it's for Fairy Tail chapter 436 in particular, but I will talk about 437 a little bit as well near the end, but yeah, I really want to discuss 436 because, especially Ankhserum, because I was so. If you guys have watched my channel long enough, especially my book Nerdigan videos, you know that I love mythology. I love mythology and all that crap. So let's get to 436 with Zeref's background. So I was, or not, yeah, 436. So when Zeref was younger, he was it all started because he was curious on why we live and die as a kid after his brother passed away. And that, yeah, a lot of people said it had to do with a lot of similarities with Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, and it also reminds me of the Secrets of the Immortal Nicholas Flamel by Michael Scott. If you've read that book, which you should, um, when you look at the background of Nicholas Flamel, he was studying alchemy. Nicholas Flamel had to hide under his bed because what he was doing was considered taboo. So what happened was, I think it was the soldiers in France or the guards in France came and killed his parents in front of him. Yeah, that's what it was. And that's what this kind of reminds me of, is Nicholas Flamel's story. So I'm wondering if Hiro Mashima took inspiration from the story of Nicholas Flamel, but like to put his own, like, he kind of, what I'm thinking is he kind of mixed the story of Nicholas Flamel with um with Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. If he did that, but that's genius. I have to say that right now. That's pretty genius of Mashima for doing that. I would have never thought of doing that at all, actually. So, the project on the R system that he was working on, to bring back the dead, the equivalent exchange taboo, yeah, it totally reminds me of FMA, and it reminds me of, again, it reminds me of, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, or Brotherhood, yeah, I just said Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. It also reminds me of, Immortal Secrets of Nicholas Flamel had something like that too um, yeah, with his alchemy, it was very very similar to that as well, and the way that the Project R system, it reminded me of an FMA Brotherhood with Omenheimer, and the reason why I mentioned Omenheimer is with Omen. Yeah, if I'm saying his name wrong, I'm sorry, but with the Elric brothers' father, is because remember the king at that time loved the idea of the Sorcerer's Stone and immortality, and he was so for it, and then it totally bit him back in the ass afterwards, and when him and the entire kingdom died. So that's what I think it. That's what it totally reminds me of, and it kind of, in a sense, it sort of reminds me of Yu-Gi-Oh in a way, because if you think about it, when Aten's father created the Millennium Book of Spells, and he had to kill Yami Bakura's village to create the Millennium items. That's what it kind of reminds me of that too. You have that equivalent exchange going on, but yeah, that's what it reminds me of, for sure. And when Zeref was expelled from the academy, once he was told he couldn't bring his brother back, the curse of Ankhserum, um, that's what the priest said. That's the curse of Ankhserum, and Zeref was possessed by a spirit and killed the professor, or a demon, and killed the professors and students out of despair and madness, and woke when he came to. He had no memory of it, and I thought it was interesting, or yeah, it was sad, and it reminds me of what did it remind me of? It reminded me of Oppenheimer. That scene reminded me of Oppenheimer too, because I don't think he remembered it when it happened, to be quite honest. And it also kind of, I know it's not the Pharaoh. The Pharaoh didn't kill people. I'm trying to remember what it was. Oh, I don't remember. And this is, oh, now this is where it gets good. So the more Zeref loved, the more people Zeref killed, and he became immortal in the process. And what this reminded me of Vash the Stampede. And why I say it reminds me of Vash the Stampede is because, remember, he got the nickname the Humanoid Typhoon for a reason. Every city he went to, he somehow destroyed it. That's why it reminds me of Zeref. Kind of reminds me of Vash the Stampede a little bit, even though Vash is a lot funnier than Zeref. He totally is. But at the same time, it kind of reminds me the way Zeref, and plus Vash is kind of in the sense because Vash is a different species, he's immortal. But the way Zeref behaves, his mannerisms, it kind of reminds me, now that I'm thinking about it, it reminds me of Wolfwood. Because Wolfwood, it felt like Wolfwood had this, the weight of the world on his shoulders as well. Same as Vash, but Wolfwood was more serious than Vash. Like, Vash had his goofy side. Zeref, as far as I know, I need to read Fairy Tail Zero to double check, but Wolfwood was a lot more serious, and he had a somewhat goofy side than Vash. So yeah. And Zeref wished to die, so he delved deeper into the dark arts and created the Book of Zeref and demons known as Athelius, but they couldn't kill him, and then he created Natsu, aka Athelius, Natsu Dragneel, and he used the body of his younger brother. So before I go into that, I want to, I forgot to mention the other thing that the equivalent exchange thing, going back to that, it reminds me of Harry Potter, because if you haven't read Harry Potter, then shame on you. In Harry Potter, Voldemort put pieces of his soul in different items the Horcruxes, and he did that so he can become immortal. So you have that so there's always some form of equivalent exchange. So I just thought I would bring that up. And yes, and of course the putting the whole thing with Natsu being Zeref's brother is really fascinating, especially when Zeref mentioned earlier in the chapter that he was friends with Igneal, and how he was going to tell Natsu how he met Igneal and Mavis, and I'm like thinking, damn, I need to read Fairy Tail Zero, because that would make so much sense. And what this reminds me of, actually, and I love that Mashima did this, it reminds me of how Cassandra Clare writes her books. Because what she did was she wrote the Mortal Instruments series first, and then she wrote the prequel, which is called The Infernal Devices. But what she did with the Infernal Devices is she had stuff from the Mortal Instruments that was already established. She included little hints of it in the Infernal Devices and explained it and what it was and what it meant in the Infernal Devices, like the origins of it. And that's what this is doing. And I love it. So Hiro, thank you for doing this. And then when we get to Acnologia in human form, that's just freaking amazing. And Zeref said his duty is to kill Acnologia and the human race. And Acnologia, I don't know if it's just me, but Acnologia kind of looked like Gajiel. And before I forget, this someone mentioned, YouTubers have mentioned that that because of Natsu being Zeref's younger brother, that's why he couldn't get through the barrier. But Gajiel couldn't get through the barrier either, because the original explanation was because of the dragons being inside of them. But what about Natsu? What about Natsu? Now it's because of Zeref being Zeref's brother. What about Gajiel? What if Gajiel is somehow connected to Acnologia? I don't know. That's really far-fetched, but yeah, that's really far-fetched. But anyway, now let me get to the where Ankhserum comes from. So Ankh, it represents the concept of eternal life, and which is the general meaning of the symbol was the ancient Egyptian hieroglyphic character that read life, and that's a triliteral sign of the consonants. And the Egyptian gods are often portrayed carrying it by its loop or bearing one in each hand, arms crossing over their chests. The ink appears in hand or in proximity of almost every deity in the Egyptian pantheon, including pharaohs, and thus it is fairly and widely understood as a symbol of early religious pluralism, because all sects believed in a common story of eternal life, and this is the literal meaning of the symbol. And Ankh appears frequently in I can't talk in Egyptian tomb paintings and other art, often at the fingertips of the god or goddess, in images that represent the deities of the afterlife, conferring the gift of life on the dead person's mummy. And this is thought to symbolize the act of conception. And and also the Ankh, what it does, the gods are often seen holding holding an Ankh to someone's lips, and this is considered to be an offering of the breath of life and the breath you will need in the afterlife, which I found really fascinating, because I was thinking, what could have happened was with the curse for Zeref, the curse of Ankhserum, was it could have been their god could have been one of the gods holding the Ankh at towards Zeref and towards Zeref's lips, and no, it couldn't be that, because you need the breath in the afterlife. That's not it. But anyway, I was thinking, and it just didn't work. I was thinking about this, and I just thought about it afterwards. It didn't work. All right, let me get to Osiris, because Osiris, I thought this might have been where Mashima got even more inspiration from, and because I was thinking, is Mashima getting a lot of his inspiration for Zeref's character from Egyptian gods? Is he saying that Zeref is like Osiris? Because that would make sense. So I looked at Osiris, and yeah, I think this is totally Osiris. Because listen to this: the kings of Egypt were associated with Osiris and death. As Osiris rose from the dead, they would, in union with him, inherit eternal life through a process of imitative magic. And the cult of Osiris, who was a god chiefly of regeneration and rebirth, had particularly strong interest in the concept of immortality. So I think the cult of Osiris actually probably inspired Hiro to, this is my theory anyway, to create the cult of Zeref and all these dark guilds that want to resurrect Zeref, because that would make more sense, because they felt that they could get they wanted immortality. These people were zealots. This would make more sense. And for serum, the synonym for serum is elixir, as in the elixir of life. And I was thinking, I see what you did, Hiro. I see what you did. So you did life serum or life elixir. So it's an eternal life elixir. So there you go. And the elixir of life, for those who don't know, also known as the elixir of immortality, and sometimes equated with the philosopher's stone, is a mythical potion that, when drunk from a certain cup at a certain time, supposedly grants the drinker eternal life and or eternal youth. The elixir of life was also said to be able to create life as well. So Ankhserum, what he probably did with this curse, also gave what was it? Gave Zeref, besides him delving into the dark arts, that additional curse gave him the ability to create these demons. That's what I think. That I'm guessing this is what kind of inspired Hiro, because when you have eternal life, there you go. You can create demons. But yeah, that's what I thought for you manga nerdigans, that you would think that was interesting. But anyway, let me talk about 437 real quick. I thought 437 was such a sweet chapter, because I love with 435, I mean, we had the reunion of Gajeel and Levi and Panther Lily. I thought that was awesome. And then, 436, we had this deep chapter, and it was just so intense. And I was like thinking, I want my Acnologia match now, Hiro. Please give it to me. But we didn't get it for 437. But we got a really nice chapter though, because we had the reunion of Fairy Tail, and I almost cried. I was so happy, even though they were a bunch of useless characters, but a lot of them were. But I was happy as hell. I was just like thinking, where's Loxus though? Because Loxus and the old man weren't there, and I was like thinking, where are they? And Gildarts wasn't there either. I was like, Gildarts I kind of understand, but I wanted the old man to be there, but it kind of makes sense why he wasn't there. But especially since the next chapter is called the new map, it's basically we're gonna find out who the new Guild Master is, and a lot of people are saying they want Loxus to be it. And if you would have asked me at the in the Loxus arc, would you want Loxus to be the next Guild Master, I would have said, fuck no, fuck that shit. But now, after Loxus's character development, hell yes, I want Loxus to be the Guild Master. He has grown so much as a person, and he has grown to love Fairy Tail as a guild. He figured out what the meaning of being a part of Fairy Tail was, or Fairy Tail is. Yes, I would love Loxus to be the Guild Master. I could see either Loxus, Mira Jane, or Urza would be a kind of scary Guild Master. I don't think Urza would do it. I think Urza likes being more hands-on and on the field. I could see Urza being more like second in command, like Mira Jane is. No, maybe not like second in command like Mira Jane is. Yeah, I don't know. I just think that Loxus would be the best option. Maybe Urza, but Loxus. Loxus has got to be my first choice for the new Guild Master. I don't think Natsu would be it. I don't think Ray would be it. No, I just think Loxus would be the best choice, because Loxus, well, yeah, he's a direct descendant, but Loxus understands the meaning of being a part of Fairy Tail, as I said. But anyway, I can't wait for the chapter on Monday. I'm really stoked. And remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I will probably do, for Manga Nerdigan, I will probably do a Bleach talk about Bleach a little bit more soon, because I fucking love Bleach. Because I was right about Bleach, that Nell was gonna come back. But anyway, until next time, Manga Nerdigans, I will see you later.